Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Beer, founder of the Edge AI and Vision Alliance. Welcome to this 2021 Vision Tank final round competition hosted by the Edge AI and Vision Alliance. The Edge AI and Vision Alliance is a partnership of companies focused on enabling the use of computer vision and other forms of perceptual AI to solve real-world problems. The Alliance's mission is twofold. First, we work to inspire and empower all kinds of product creators to build better systems and applications using computer vision and Edge AI, for example, through our educational programs. Secondly, we work to help companies find their best opportunities in this space, for example, by helping them get the insights they need into key technology and market trends, and by providing matchmaking services to connect companies with suppliers, customers, investors, and partners. If you're interested in learning more about the Alliance, please visit our website. These are the 112 member companies of the Edge AI and Vision Alliance. All are leading innovators driving this technology forward. We're grateful for the support of all of our member companies, which makes this Vision Tank competition, and in fact, all of the programs of the Alliance possible. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, my friend, John Feland. Welcome, John.
Thanks, Jeff. Hello, everybody. And I'd like to welcome you all to the final round of the Vision Tank competition, hosted by the Edge AI and Vision Alliance. We have an exciting and fast-paced event for you as we select two winners. First, the Judges Award, picked by an August group of judges I'll introduce shortly. And second, the audience choice winner, the ones that you get to pick as the audience today. The Vision Tank is the Edge AI and Vision Alliance's annual startup competition, showcasing the best new ventures using computer vision or visual AI in their products and services. Open to early stage companies, entrants are judged on 4 criteria: technology innovation, business plan, team, and business opportunity. I'd like to begin by introducing our August panel of judges. Now, some of them may have actually been born in August, I'm not entirely sure, and have each of them say a few words. Our first judge is Oliver Gunasekara. Oliver, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. It's great to be here. I'm Oliver Gunasekara. So I'm currently the CEO and co-founder of a new startup called Impossible Mining. And we're currently still in stealth, but we're trying to do something big around climate tech. Prior to that, I spent 7 years running a video startup called NG Codec, which is about next generation video compression. That company was acquired by Xilinx. And then earlier in my career, I spent almost 13 years at Arm, running mobile and later on corporate development. So I'm really excited to be here and I'm looking forward to hearing the pitches. Thanks.
Thanks, Oliver. Our next judge is Shweta Shirvastava.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shweta Shirvastava. I lead product management for autonomous driving behavior at Waymo, which is a company that originated out of Google. Before Waymo, I was chief product officer at an AI and computer vision startup called Notto that focuses on automotive safety. I'm very excited to be here today, and I am looking forward to the presentations. Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta. Our third, but not final, actually our final judge is Simon Morris. Simon.
Thank you, John. I'm a accidental entrepreneur. So I've done actually 3 tech startups. The second one was CogniView, which was actually one of the founding companies of the Edge AI and Vision Alliance back in, I think, 2012. So I've been involved in embedded vision, computer vision for more than a decade. All my tech companies were tech differentiation startups. The third one was sold actually about this time last year. It was Iris Tech Software to one of our customers, Rajan, Clarion. And I'm currently coaching other entrepreneurs like myself, about 6 different companies, ranging from autonomous trucking companies to a 3D sensor company in Sweden. Some of these companies will be likely joining the Alliance in short order, I expect. I'm really happy to be judging this event, and I really enjoyed looking at the pitches of all the companies. Back to you, John.
Thanks, Simon. Thanks to all three of our judges. You bring incredible and fantastic experience to this competition, and I'm sure all five of our finalists today will benefit from your questions and from the thoughtful feedback you're going to provide them. So a quick note about the structure of what's going to happen today. We're going to build this as following. Each of the five finalists will have 3 minutes to pitch their company to the judges, followed by 5 minutes of questions and answer from the judges. I'll be the gong keeper, and the timekeeper. I'm going to use a gong in order to keep anyone from going over their time limit. After the five finalists complete their pitches and the Q&A, the judges will leave the session briefly to deliberate offline. Yes, that still happens. During that time, we will open up to the audience voting for you to vote for your favorite as well. When the judges finish deliberating, we will award the Judges Award and then announce the Audience Choice Award. In the event that the same company is picked for both, which has happened from time to time, the second place Audience Choice selection will win the Audience Choice Award. Okay, let's begin. Congratulations to our five finalists. We'll be hearing from them in the following order from left to right. First, we'll hear from Nomitri. Second, we'll hear from Monument. Third, we'll hear from Opteran. Fourth, we'll hear from Retrocausal. And finally, rounding out the five finalists, Deep Nets. Our first company will be Nomitri. You will have 3 minutes to present, plus the 5 minutes for Q&A.
Well, then, thank you for the opportunity to pitch our company to you. Our vision is centered around embedded visual AI. Executing deep learning vision applications on device brings several key benefits. Most obvious is that your application also runs offline. Solutions are also asset light, especially when integrating the user's own smartphone. There is low to no need for additional network or local compute infrastructure. And as video data is processed locally, you get a strong privacy advantage. However, building market-ready embedded visual AI applications is challenging. On top of the usual challenges of deep learning applications, you have to optimize deep learning inference for embedded execution, and you also need all other necessary components of a complete product, all while maxing out runtime performance. Luckily, we managed to build up a team of very senior experts that cover all the areas that we need to successfully master these challenges. And with our technology, we support traditional retailers. The retail landscape is changing rapidly, and who wins or loses will be decided by knowing your customers and providing them the most convenience and a personalized experience. And this requires collecting and analyzing the necessary data and a browser-like real-time user interface to the customers. And we provide just that in the form of a personalized mobile shopping assistant that guides you through your shopping experience while providing necessary loss prevention features for the retailers. Our base solution, which works entirely on the smartphone of the shopper, is being piloted already, and we focus on providing very cheap, easy to integrate, and modular solutions to the retailers. And our smartphone-only base version can be easily extended with our embedded smart cameras, which serve then as additional eyes to the smartphone. We are already partnering with global industry players for camera-equipped smart cards, as well as smart shelf systems. And aside from the immediate benefits that a seamless checkout solution brings, we aggregate and leverage data to improve the customer experience with the goal of increasing the share of consumer spending at the retailers we work with. And our data focus is also reflected in our business model. While the licensing of our seamless checkout solutions constitute one pillar of our revenue model, we expect higher profit margins from offering data analytics and customer engagement features. We also already witness a lot of interest in the market, both from retailers as well as retail solution providers. And we have already built up a healthy sales funnel with 2 pilot partners for our basic smartphone solution.
Thank you, Max. Appreciate that. Judges, it is your turn to start asking questions. And I believe Simon has the first question.
Yes, Max. So
Yes.
Thanks for that presentation. I'd like to know, you've actually outlined some, let's say, attractive value propositions, but the one thing I get the tech startups that I work with to really focus on is quantifying or an objective difference. In particular, in your case, how much of an objective difference will your service make to the grocery store owner's business? So
yes, so
the model looks good, but it's really about quantifying this, and of course, pilots help to maybe understand that somewhat, but do you have some idea in terms of increased revenue and by how much, and decreased cost of labor and by how much, that kind of thing?
Yes, so our guide mark here is the online retail experience, which, online retail world, in which our CEO brings a lot of experience in, and kind of the data and consumer outreach they do with, of course, the profiles they collect and the effect and the experimental analysis they have that on the effect of extended consumer spending. And this is kind of the same thing that we would like to now port to the brick and mortar retail world, while having basically their smartphone act as the browser and our camera technology acting as the sort of data collector and analytics basis.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Max. It's Oliver here.
Yes, sure.
Great slides. So could you give us a bit more detail on your go-to-market strategy? Obviously, you've got a sales pipeline, but what is your strategy to sign up customers and grow that pipeline?
Yes. So, as you see, it's a B2B business model. So our main customers or clients will be large retail chains. So it's, in this case, a classic B2B approach. We do, first of all, focus on running 2-3 pilots to really be sure about market fits and customer fit, and also about sort of repeatability, in the sense that we picked for our pilots already 2 and now a 3rd retailer from very sort of different areas: discounter, all-purpose retailers, and a more locally organized one, so that we can prove that with the same technology, with the same product, we can service all 3 of those, meaning we can generate sort of escape velocity to then really scale to all kinds of other retailers as market, sort of as a scaling factor then. But also we approach distribution partners as well for our sort of more upscale products that already do have a big sales presence and a large network of customers, which we can then leverage while sort of going through a licensing with them, but still in the agreement, for example, for the smart card or smart shelf systems, we still have access to the data that we generate there. So even from that, we can funnel in data that we can then offer for sort of additional data analytics services. Sorry.
Great. Well, we have time for one more question. Shweta, do you have a question for Max?
Yes. Max, that was a good presentation. I'm curious to understand in more detail, what exactly are you using deep learning for? And why isn't our code scanning capability good enough for your app?
Yes. No, very good. So as basically in the first submission videos we said, and one thing is the loss prevention. So, if you just give people a smartphone and say, okay, now you are allowed to scan barcodes with that, we just have to trust them. But we have 6 different deep learning models running on the phone, all in one application that basically directly observe what you do and always keep consistency between what is in your virtual shopping basket and what is in your actual physical shopping basket. Now, this is what we mainly ensure. But then also, of course, we use everything we see and analyze to sort of profile the behavior, or in at least to some extent, of the customer as they go shop. How long do they stand in front of a shelf before they decide to pick something, for example? How often do they rearrange stuff in their shopping cart, and so on, just to get a nice hyperdimensionality in your data profile and offer the traditional brick and mortar retailers something similar as an online retailer, which can also analyze all interactions that you do with your online browser.
Thanks, Max. Back to you, John.
Great.
Thanks a lot.
Well, I think we have, unless someone has a question that can fit in 15 seconds, I think that's probably it for Max. That's great. Thank you so much. So you want to have a 10-second question? Okie doke. Max, thanks so much. Appreciate it. That was wonderful. All right. Our next up company is Monument.
Thank you, John. And it's great to be here. So usually when I'm on stage, I take selfies, but this is obviously one-of-a-kind moments and being virtual. So let me just take this opportunity and get this selfie just to remind myself. So just like this, the photo, there are a lot of memories in our lives, and our lives are full with all these moments. And as much as everything changes, we are also seeing a rapid change on consumer behaviors, and the needs of photo management have moved beyond the basic storage. So the public cloud services come with limitations, and they fail to offer transparency about their policies and how photos are being used or processed. So we had to settle without any alternative options. So we reimagined photo storage and created monuments to provide a clutter-free, cloud-level experience while keeping users' needs in the center, not their personal data. It automatically backs up and organizes all of your photos and videos while protecting privacy and security. So you just install our apps, and it handles the rest automatically for you. With the internal neural processing unit and our AI-based advanced photo organization software, we are basically moving the processing power to the edge, and everything is processed locally on the device, fast and with high accuracy. And we designed monuments to deliver an entirely new way to discover and enjoy photos. Compared to other solutions, Monument delivers more than just a face and image recognition. It deduplicates and groups similar photos while keeping users the needs in the center, and everything is private and organized. Today, we are serving over 20,000 active users, and our first generation model is already available through the major retailers in the US. And now we are more excited to launch our second generation model that is 10 times faster and more accurate with the new AI software. And we are starting to ship in July. So what is our long-term vision, and where are we going with this? Today, we are seeing privacy-focused solutions gaining popularity, and we are positioning Monuments to create a new layer in photo management. And we started building our hardware product to develop our core technology and create a user base. And now we are moving and introducing the private cloud and desktop software solutions to make Monuments available for everyone. So this is Monuments, and speed, smarts, and privacy above and beyond. They're all right here. And thank you very much.
That was fantastic. I didn't even get to use the gong. That is awesome. All right, now, as a result, we have 12 hours for judges' questions. I'm sorry, the typical only 5 minutes for judges' questions. In fact, actually, Shweta will ask the first question. Shweta, please go ahead.
Congratulations, Ercan, for the commercial progress. That seems very impressive. I understand that you're facing competition from well-established hardware as well as cloud storage vendors who are all capable of developing AI capabilities. So what would you say is your sustainable competitive advantage?
Yep. This is also one of the questions that we hear a lot, and it's always great to explain the differences. And we are actually building an alternative. And if we are not going after the mainstream user base, and we are going after the privacy-focused approach, and targeting people who are concerned about the privacy, and mobile photographers or the camera users, because these are the heavy users and need more storage and the proper organization, and compared to any average the consumer. But the main difference that we are providing in a nutshell is the privacy aspect. And also with the platform independence, the solutions, we are basically providing the same level of the experience, like the cloud level experience, and without breaking any the promise on the privacy and security. And most of all, if you're not buying additional services and the other add-ons, everything is free and under your control, as it should be, we believe.
Thank you. And I'll pass it to Simon for the next question.
Well, thanks. So yes, that was a great presentation, Ercan, and again, fantastic progress with your product. I have to ask a question which is somewhat similar to the last one, and it is sort of an MBA-ish type question. But if you could describe your business strategy in terms of whether it's a product leadership tech differentiation play or whether or not it's a customer intimacy play? Which would it be?
I think it's a combination of all a little bit, but the core focus is the product differentiation. And I can give this analogy to compare. You can choose a Tesla car, but if you have a family of four, and I think a sports car wouldn't really fit your needs, and you need a family car. So if you're concerned about the privacy and if you want to have everything under your control, then we want to become one of the first solutions that comes to your mind. And this is where we trying to build the brand.
If that's the case, so you say your product differentiation, then what is it specifically about privacy aspects that truly differentiates you in a long-term way, allows you to continue to stay ahead of your competition?
Yep. And there's also the one more thing, and I think we should consider historically, if you're concerned about the privacy, today the very best option for you is getting a NAS drive or an ordinary hard drive or keeping everything in your computer. But these solutions are cumbersome, and you have to do everything manually. And users do not have any the sort of access to this organization. And what we are doing is that we are building an AI software just right here and organizes everything. So it's basically your server at home. And we are moving this processing to the edge. And you get the same level of the service and without interrupting any problems for the price, because nothing is processed outside of your device, but you still have the option to create additional backups, because this is a flexible system. It's not the black box, and creates backups for you, the duplicates, and this is where we focus.
Okay. If there's time for more questions, I just want to follow on with that. So what is it about, again, your AI that truly is differentiated, and quantify it again? Like, are you, why? Because AI is just a form of classification. So what is it about your solution that is substantially better than somebody else's photo classification software? Is it faster, lower power, more? What is it essentially?
Our aim is not to create a state-of-the-art technology when it comes to the AI. So we are not focusing on to create the best face recognition software or the image recognition software. So, but we are comparable with those solutions, and they provide almost the same level of service. And what is different about this is that in order to process and organize your content, you don't have to move your content to the clouds and for further processing. And it doesn't break our promise for the privacy. Everything is processed locally, and it doesn't take time. It's fast and accurate. And as you just upload that and like a video file, and you can just start viewing it in your own network.
The gong is going on. It is time to move to the next speaker. Thank you so much for that vibrant question and answer session. That's why we do these things, because sometimes we don't have enough time in 3 minutes to get the whole story out. So thank you, Monument. Appreciate that. That was fantastic. Our next presenter will be David, the CEO of Opteran.
Thanks, John. I'm David Rajan, CEO at Opteran. We're a brain biomimicry company capturing biological systems or real brains onto silicon. This is based on the observation that it's nature, not deep learning, that has solved autonomy. You only have to sit in your garden to watch the birds and the bees to realize this. At Opteran, we decided to understand how nature had achieved this, and essentially extracted 600 million years of brain evolution onto a silicon chip. It enables machines to move naturally, as in nature. It is edge-only, verifiable, small, lightweight, and ultra-low powered, and orders of magnitude more efficient and robust than today's deep learning. We call this natural intelligence. It's a completely new paradigm in machine autonomy based on our research into different areas of an insect's brain. The product is made up of 4 components, starting with C, which is 360 degrees of stabilized vision, using only standard 2D CMOS cameras that are low resolution and low cost. And we're adding hyperspectral capabilities also. Next, sense does optic flow to extract motion and the state of an object from the world so we can track it through time and space and avoid collisions. Then direct locates and maps us and allows us to navigate through a series of linked spaces. Finally, decide applies in-state decision-making to enable machines to take action. Deployment is completely general purpose on any types of silicon and any type of machine. It's a massive market opportunity, and we're already deploying onto AMRs and cobots, drones for inspection, working with electric bike and wheelchair companies, into industrial sensors, and with car manufacturers. Our go-to-market is via the Opteran development kit, which is an FPGA on board this PCB with a pair of Raspberry Pi cameras pre-integrated and calibrated. You access it over ROS. We use it to do proof of concepts and to embed our technology into customers' products. And then we scale commercially and share the risk with our customers. We've assembled a world-class team with individuals from Movidius, Intel, Maricon, Oracle, and Global Logic. In summary, we have very disruptive science and IP, a real working product today that plays into a massive market opportunity with a strong commercial and technical team who are already building significant market momentum. And we leave you with one final thought. Intelligence isn't artificial. Intelligence is natural. Thanks very much. Back to you, John.
David, that was fantastic. I believe that Oliver has the first question for Opteran.
Yeah. Hi, David. That was a great presentation. I wonder if you could give me a bit more detail on your customer validation and feedback that you've received to date and how your solution compares to alternatives.
Yeah, sure. Well, we're very early stage, Oliver. We're only in the process of embedding our technology in various areas. But the sorts of feedback we get really is around the swaps. Because it's edge only and there's no deep learning at all, we're not gathering data over a network, we're not doing anything in a data center, there's no training. The sorts of things that really appeal to people are the swaps, so size, weight, and power. But a lot of people really find that the fact that we're a white box, and so we can be verifiable with regulators, really compelling. I think also one of the things that stands out is that we're using standard CMOS cameras. So the Raspberry Pi cameras that we use are like a few dollars each. And that is, for some companies, incredibly liberating to be able to move away from LiDAR and so
on. Great, thanks. Shweta, I think you had a question.
Thanks, Oliver. David, this is a fascinating concept, natural intelligence.
Yes.
I'll build up on Oliver's question. As you talk to the customers, how much customization is required for your solution based on the application or the use case?
Actually, we don't customize at all. The product is available. We essentially deploy onto silicon. So you have a sensor that is essentially ASIC-based sensor that lets us to take a 360 degree of the world into the system. And then the optic flow works on the edge on the chip as if like a baby deer has just opened its eyes. And then our SLAM technology, well, that's again on the chip, but it learns as it goes along on the edge. So it doesn't need to be trained. So essentially, it's really giving developers access to the system over standard ROS APIs. There's no training. There might be we're working on a few configurable parameters that people can have to maybe set a few settings, but it's very simple in that regards. In fact, it's a paradigm shift. It is, the fact that you don't have to gather data sets, send them over a network, gather petabytes of data in huge data centers, then train things, labeling data, and so on, and then training a neural net and then having to update it on the edge. We completely break that paradigm.
Thank you, David. And if I have time for a follow-up question, again, it's a fascinating concept. And if it really works, what would prevent other large silicon vendors to also replicate this technology?
That is a good question. We get asked that one a lot. It's taken us, as we started this journey about 10 years ago, there's a lot. This is not machine learning or deep learning. We don't hire those types of individuals. We hire cognitive neuroscientists. And so it's very much about a combination of factors. You really need to understand brain structure. Where deep learning throws away complexity, we embrace it. We want to understand the structure of the brain. We do work to understand what's happening with the neurons. We understand whether spiking matters or not. It doesn't matter always. There's lots of knowledge and insight in understanding brain structure and brain function. We also do behavior analysis in various ways. And we've taken all of that expertise and built a tool chain so that we can take our research and essentially code generate down onto silicon. All of these things give us a huge advantage, many years of advantage over competition. Also, obviously, it's edge only and deeply encrypted, so it's very difficult to actually understand what it is that we've done and how that we do it. And I should add, it does work.
Thank you. Back to you, John.
We've got about 39 seconds. Anybody have another question that David can answer for us?
Yeah, David, Simon here. I'm wondering, what you do with the manufacturers that actually need to use other scanners or sensors besides RGB cameras because, they're not providing 3D information, which is particularly important for navigation.
Absolutely. And I think, our whole mindset is to re-engineer how real brains work. So, for example, the SLAM it's not feature extraction based SLAM. And so, that's more about naturally how real brains navigate. And the same with the way we extract motion from the world. But what we do need is...
Apologies, we've run out of time.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry. Yep. It sounds like a wonderful opportunity for a follow-on conversation. Okie doke. It's time for our fourth presenter, our fourth company, Retrocausal. And it's time for their presentation. So David, if you were to relinquish screen sharing, thank you very much. And we'll bring Retrocausal up.
I'm Zeeshan. I'm the CEO of Retrocausal, and we build visual mistake proofing systems to help human workers become more efficient at manufacturing assembly. Our dozen or so enterprise partners tell us that they lose up to 20% in revenues every year due to poor quality issues. And human mistakes are responsible for up to 70% of this loss in revenue. We built the digital twin of people, where cameras look at human workers as they do assembly processes to provide live task guidance, where the camera-based system autonomously provides audible and visual alerts to help these workers avoid assembly mistakes before they pass this part on to the next station. We provide prescriptive analytics, where the system measures cycle times and the amount of time spent on each individual step to help industrial engineers and manufacturing supervisors improve processes, ask questions such as why is step 2 why is there so much standard deviation on step 2, or why are there so many mistakes being made on step 5, right? We help industrial engineers accelerate Kaizen events. We find with real customers that this improves first time yields by 10%, reduces manual assembly related quality issues by 60%, and reduces worker training times by 44%. We sell this product as on a monthly subscription basis, either on a per seat or on a per site basis. All the compute happens, the majority of the compute happens at the edge where the video analysis algorithms operate, but we allow these models to be trained in the cloud. We have several features for worker privacy. I'm happy to talk about them later. Let's look at a quick demo of the system. Here you see our system monitoring the assembly of a desktop computer. In bold, you see the current step of the activity being performed, being tracked, right? We are also measuring the amount of time being spent on each individual step. You might have just noticed that the system measured that or estimated that the step had been missed, and there was an audible alert issued that you couldn't hear, but that helped this worker fix that mistake right there and then. ours is a no-code platform that helps ordinary folks who don't know how to code just record a bunch of video demonstrations of an activity, annotate the time series, and deploy the system in hours. In contrast, our competitors spend 8 to 10 weeks to write custom code to monitor each individual manufacturing activity. So we help our customers go from 8 to 10 weeks to 8 to 10 hours. We have won the Best Demonstration Award at ISMA 2020. Our technology. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Sorry for that. 3 minutes is 3 minutes. So thank you very much, Zeeshan. So I believe that Simon has the first question for you.
Zeeshan, very good presentation, and particularly enjoy the fact that you quantified your value proposition to your customers. So that's a really important ingredient to success, is really understanding the impact of your technology or product is on the business. Now, I understand you have some initial pilots going on, and I want to know, you've mentioned integrating with MES systems and partnering with integrators and distributors. Can you describe in more detail how you scale your business beyond the initial pilots, and why do you believe the solution will be sticky?
Absolutely. So in this industry, manufacturing, every solution is sticky. As soon as if it gets deployed, it's very hard to take it out. So stickiness is not a major problem that we've found. Of course, there is this pilot purgatory in this space that you deploy AI solutions in pilot. It's easy to get pilots, but to get to deployment is harder. What we have found is that since we are performing live video analysis, we go into these companies through their innovation teams, we deploy on their lines, and what we find is that they're immediately able to see the benefits of this. So the ROIs, the KPIs that we evaluate on are first improvement to first-time yields and a reduction in manual assembly related quality issues. Our customers are able to see within the same day that the system was able to capture mistakes that they wouldn't have been able to capture.
I guess my question was really about how you're going to scale this beyond these pilots. So what's your strategy to actually get this deployed in meaningful numbers?
Absolutely.
That you just start generating a reasonable SaaS revenue.
Yeah. So we work with relatively larger manufacturers which have 50 or more factories. After we do a deployment at one factory, we have this land and expand strategy, which allows us to expand from there. But at the same time, since we are dealing with large enterprises, we are going to have an enterprise sales team, account managers, and so on, account execs, and so on, that will actually take it to market. We are going to have case studies. We already have some in the works that will help us, get the word out, and that's where we expand from.
Okay, I'll have another question, but I'll turn it over to Oliver for his question.
Great, very interesting presentation. I absolutely get the value proposition. What I'm trying to understand is kind of two things. One, what percentage of manufacturing do you think will ultimately deploy this type of solution? And two, what are your barriers to entry? Because it looks like you've built a very compelling offering, but what's to stop competitors duplicating?
Yeah, so there are two barriers to entry. One is that manufacturers themselves are relatively conventional, right? It's hard to get in, but once you get in, it's very sticky. What's hard for competitors to copy is our proprietary technology. We have fundamental patents that have already been granted. We have been working on this technology for the last 15 years or so. Our prior work has been cited by MIT, Stanford, CMU, Google, Facebook, Baidu. So we have fundamental technology that we have developed, we have published, that is hard to replicate, in our opinion. And as we have gone to market relatively early on, that's allowing us to gain a lot of experience, get a lot of data sets, continuously improve our product, which is why we think that it's going to be a lot harder. We are continuously expanding the moat for these competitors to come in, because we have all the data, we have really fine-tuned the algorithm, the parameters, and so on and so forth. So you had one earlier question that I missed, I think.
Yeah, how big is the market? What percent of manufacturing will ultimately deploy this type of solution, and in what time frame?
Absolutely. So what we find is that in 2030, about 65% of discrete manufacturing will still be manual assembly based, right? 65% of assembly will still be manufacturing will still be manual assembly based in 2030, right? And about these manufacturers are losing 70% of 20% of their revenues annually to poor quality because of these human workers. So we find, and in US discrete manufacturing is a $1.2 trillion business, right? So overall, it's about $160 billion market if you break it down. And of course, we want to start out with a relative niche, which is static workstations where workers are doing repetitive activities. That's a much smaller market, which comes down to about $15 to $20 billion today. But that's talking just the US. Sorry about that. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
That's great. Over to John. I think we're out of time, but good answer.
We're out of time. That's what the gong is for. So, and again, each of these companies is absolutely fascinating. So we would all love to spend more time with them, but unfortunately, we have to move on. So that brings us to our final, but not our least, company of number 5 of our 5 finalists. DeepNets will now have 3 minutes to share their vision.
Thank you, John. My name is Zoran Sevarac. I come from DeepNets, and we are building the deep learning development platform with the main idea to make deep learning very easy for Java developers to integrate into their products. At the moment, there is millions of Java developers who are struggling to keep up with the latest innovations in the deep learning and computer vision space, and development of tools and kits have been largely neglected lately. The industry experts in this field lately very good described the situation at the EE Times, and they outlined that tool development is the solution for this skill gap that's hitting the industry. So our solution is a deep learning development platform that is based essentially on the software development environment, on IDE. So we took Apache NetBeans and added features that will make it very easy for newcomers to this field to build their own systems in entire pipelines. The proof of concept for this idea comes from the 14-year-old boy from Belgium who learned Java during the lockdown, and he was immediately be able to apply deep learning to his Java-based game. So at this picture, you can see how it works. Essentially, it provides a familiar software development environment, which guides the user through a series of questions, a wizard, and helps them with tuning the settings which are probably unknown to him. The tool is free for download, and it is also free for development, and it requires a paid license for deployment and to get official support. Our initial trials showed that this concept works in practice, and it really helps new developers to raise their interest and confidence into mastering AI and resolve some frustrations with some other offerings that are available on the market. Also, support is something that really helps them to move forward, and is something that is an important part of our market strategy. Now imagine about 10 million professional Java developers working on advanced AI and deploying them on 13 billion edge devices. That's something that will happen in future thanks to our solutions. It is a huge market opportunity by some estimates, and at the moment we are on the beginning of our journey, and we have around 200 users, 1 paid license, and 1 partner company that we are working with to develop a partner solution or product. Also, at this moment, we are getting very useful feedback to identify opportunities, which new features we need to develop. Our team contains university professors and industry veterans. Thank you. Questions?
Thank you so much. DeepNets, that's really interesting what you guys are doing, Zoran. So I would love to call forward our first judge with this question. Oliver, you have the con.
Yeah, great presentation. So my question is about the architectures that you're supporting. I think right now it's primarily CPU, and how important is GPU and other edge accelerators going forward?
Well, GPU is important part of our strategy. I will think really support it until the end of this year. But at the moment, since our solution is pure Java, so the focus is easy to integrate and interoperability. So it can be easily moved to different platforms. So we are just targeting smaller models and smaller data sets, but with the idea to support larger models and GPU in a close future.
Okay, great. Shweta, would you like to ask a question?
Thanks, Oliver. Zoran, that was a great presentation. I totally get the value proposition of democratizing AI for Java developers. Can you elaborate on your competitive differentiation, especially as compared to open source libraries like DL4J?
Okay, we do have open source edition too, and it is a base for these standards that we are developing. So first, our library is based for the official Java technology standard, and also it is much easier to use. One of the feedback that we are getting from users that it is deep learning for J. Also, it is more mature and it has more features. It is also much more difficult to use and integrate into other applications for the newcomers. So ease of use and the standardization will be main points.
Thanks, Zoran. Back to you, John.
We actually have quite a bit of time for questions. So does anyone else have a follow-on question?
Yeah, can you speak to that standardization issue? Because I see the Java world always, let's say, going down the path of commodity, and technology that's introduced into the Java world tends to get commoditized very quickly and standardized. How do you expect to defend your business against that likely outcome?
Well, we don't see that as a threat. Actually, we would like to have many people are using our standard, and that means that everybody using that standard that we're working on will be open to using our technology too. As a matter of fact, even Amazon and with their DGL engine is supporting the standard, and we are building that standard together with them. And I think that is something that is the key for our growth strategy, because it will provide reliability of our technology, so people will be sure that whether if they start using our technology, there will be something else in the future to use and keep the innovations going on. That it will be supported, because on one hand you have a new technology, and on the one other hand you want to have stability, and I think the standard is what can bridge the gap between those two.
So how big is your potential business? So you're licensing this technology when it's in production. There's lots of developers and there's lots of devices using Java, but how does this translate to a top-down revenue model? How do where do you see your revenues going, and which market segments and so on, and how much
Well, at this moment, we don't have exact estimates. I think it is too early. I think our primary focus at the moment is the embedded vision, because portability is one of the key features that our product will provide, and it will focus smaller scale problems that needs to be deployed on a large scale number of devices. I think that's our initial focus, and after we enter the market and see what's going on, I think we can have better estimates. But our goal is to have something like 100,000 licenses sold at some point, but we don't have like closer estimates when that can happen.
Okay.
Thank you to all of the finalists for those amazing presentations, and to our judges for the thoughtful questions and insightful comments and feedback. Our judges will now leave for a few minutes to deliberate and choose our overall winner. Now it's your turn. I know you've been sitting around watching this on streaming, but you have to get engaged. It's up to you, our audience, to vote for your favorite startup to win the Audience Choice Award. We will now post a poll for you to use to vote. Please note, we will only have this poll open for a few minutes. This isn't like a hanging Chad vote for 7 days. There's no early voting. Now is the time to vote in this poll while the judges deliberate. So be sure to let us know your choice for the audience. And as a quick reminder, our 5 finalists are DeepNets is a deep learning development platform that makes it easy for non-experts to create and integrate machine vision into Java and existing Java applications. Monument delivers cloud-level photo organization using its hardware-optimized AI software to provide a clutter-free photo browsing experience. Nomitri focuses on bringing deep learning, enhanced video analysis to embedded devices. Opteran is a brain biomimicry spin-out from the University of Sheffield, leveraging over 8 years of research and 600 million years of evolution to understand how insect brains navigate and enable a new dawn for autonomy in machines. Retrocausal is an industry leader in systems that help manufacturing workers avoid assembly mistakes, be more efficient at their daily jobs, and improve the processes they drive. So remember, those 5 companies, DeepNets, Monument, Nomitri, Opteran, and Retrocausal. Now, just a quick reminder, as you're figuring out who you're going to vote for in the midst of all this, the Embedded Vision Summit is run by the Edge AI and Vision Alliance, a worldwide industry partnership bringing together technology providers and end product companies to accelerate the adoption of Edge AI and Vision in products. Founded in 2011, the Alliance now has more than 100 member companies, ranging from name brand multinationals to newly formed startups. All have one thing in common. They produce technology to enable AI and vision in products, or they use AI and vision in their products today. The first part of the Alliance's mission is to inspire and empower product creators to solve real-world problems using Edge AI and vision technology. Towards this goal, the Alliance provides a wide array of resources to assist product developers in gaining practical know-how, inspiration, and connections to suppliers and commercially available technologies. The second part of the Alliance's mission is to help our member companies achieve and accelerate success in AI and vision technology. We actually do this by building a vibrant AI and vision ecosystem, bringing together suppliers, in-product designers, and partners, delivering timely insights into AI and vision market research, technology trends, standards, and application requirements, and assisting in understanding overcoming the challenges of incorporating AI in their products and businesses. Because, face it, it's not that easy. The Alliance is working to make it easier, but it's not super easy just yet. So we're getting ready to close the poll. So if you haven't given your choices, please do so now. Vote now or forever hold your opinions to, well, you don't have to hold your opinions to yourself. You have to hold your vote back. So we hope also, as you're voting, you think about tomorrow and join us for the final day of this year's Embedded Vision Summit program. Highlights of the summit program tomorrow include from 10 a.m. Pacific time, you'll have the opportunity to choose from over 50 demos of leading edge building block technologies and to get your questions answered by the supplier reps. We have other fantastic sessions as well. There's the talk, Practical Guide to Implementing Machine Learning on Embedded Devices by Nathan Kopp, Principal Software Architect from the Chamberlain Group. There's going to be an expert bar where you can get your questions answered about Qualcomm Snapdragon camera technologies by Judd Heap, Qualcomm's VP of Product Management for camera, computer vision, and edge video technology. There's also this incredible talk, The Fearless AI Challenge. Can you quickly deploy AI inference to billions of devices? Well, it turns out you can, according to Raymond Lowe, the OpenVINO Edge AI software evangelist for Intel. And finally, there is a panel discussion. Can you make production machine learning work without dozens of PhDs? That's coming from Jason Levine, the Senior Principal Architect at Keurig Dr. Pepper, along with Rob Estrada, the Vice President of Software R&D and Edge Processing at XP, Christopher Rommel, who's Executive VP of IoT and Industrial Technology from VDC Research, and the panel is being rounded out by Zach Shelby, the co-founder and CEO of Edge Impulse. So the polls should be closing. They are closed. Thank you all for helping us pick the Audience Choice Award. Now let me see, are the judges done? I'm listening. Okay. We have some winners to share. It is time to let you know the results of the judges' assessments and the audience assessment. So can we have a drum roll, please? We have the deliberation. Now, remember, the winners of the Judge's Choice Award will actually receive a $5,000 cash prize. Yes, one of those giant checks, as well as a 1-year membership to the Edge AI and Vision Alliance. But before we announce all the winners, I want to acknowledge that even getting this far is quite an accomplishment for all of our finalists in the Vision Tank. That had moved past dozens of other entries and multiple rounds of judging, or to even earn the honor of being able to present to you today. And the winner is, and no further delay, the winner of the Judge's Choice is Retrocausal. Yay! Woo! Congratulations to everyone at Retrocausal for this outstanding accomplishment. Retrocausal's work helping manufacturing workers avoid assembly mistakes, be more efficient at their daily jobs, and improve the processes they drive is truly exceptional. We at the Alliance look forward to working with Retrocausal over the next year and hopefully for many years to come. And now it is time to tell you about the Audience Choice Award. The Audience Choice winner is Opteran Technologies. Yay! Now, remember, the Audience Choice winner also gets a collection of benefits. They do actually get a membership to the Alliance, but they don't get the big check. But still, the membership to the Alliance, that's priceless. Who wouldn't want that? I know I've had it for a couple of years. So remember, let's also congratulate everyone at Opteran for this incredible achievement. Their work in understanding how insect brains navigate and enable a new dawn of autonomy in machines, it's really exceptional. Congratulations on winning the Vision Tank Startup Audience Award. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. It has been wonderful to have you join us on this journey as we have our Vision Tank for 2021. And we look forward to seeing you next year and tomorrow at the remaining incredible events that take place at the last day of the summit. Thank you all. Bye.